now, Shawn.
Come on up. Come on up.
What's good, Shawn?
What's up?
Are you good? You good?
Yeah. Got that behind us. Thank you. Hal wants to get one with you. Hal, come on. Why don't you just come up the steps, brother? Got it?
Penny.
Yep. Just give me 1 second. I'll take this one, then I'm ready. No. Put your camera on. I'll just send it to you. On 3. 1, 2, 3. One more.
Showtime, Shawn P with the intensity, man. It feels like the switch has hit.
Yeah,
You're like a different guy.
Yeah.
That was intense. Like you're just telling him you're gonna be the pit bull going in there. You're like foretelling the future of this, the shortest chapter of his career.
Right.
We usually don't see you like even talk like that.
Right.
Usually like coming from a much more like humble perspective. It seems like now the training camp is over and everything, your confidence is super high. What's going on right now in your mind, like mentally?
That's it, man. I think, I just want to set the tone now. Let him know what to expect in this fight. What better way to do that than, why wait until it's fight time? So I'm setting the tone now, letting him know that this is something that I really want. You've had this before. This is my goal, and it's mine to take.
How much of that does it play into the whole fight aspect of it also? Is that like to get into his head a little bit too? Just like to let him know, like a little bit of fear tactics?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just letting him know, man. Letting you know, you get in the ring with a bull. You get in the ring and I ain't playing. This is not going to be no walk in the park. This is not going to be easy 12 rounds for you.
I know they always ask this question, but we're not up there with you guys, the face-off, etc. After all the words exchanged, is there anything you can tell from a fighter's eyes?
No,
they say the eyes are the window to the soul.
Sometimes it depends. I would say no. As of late, the champions that I've been in the ring with, we're all pretty solid.
So he had a good poker face. There was nothing he was giving away.
Nah.
All right. Is there anything you can see in his physique? He was showing off the ripped six-pack abs yesterday. Is he, in your opinion, a true 147-pounder at this point?
I'm sure he is. Yeah, I'm sure he is. He's had time to grow into the weight. Probably didn't even need to do that. I'm sure he was losing weight to get to 40, So I'm sure he's a true 147-pound fighter. And, I'm looking forward to the fight.
Has anything surprised you about his size, length, anything? Just seeing him close up now that you've gotten more acquainted with him.
I would say no. I don't think anything has surprised me at all.
And was there anything different?
Your boxing style is pretty well documented.
No, I wouldn't say there was anything different.
Where did that come from?
What I did notice
from your
was
father, or is that you just wanting to impose your will?
I think it's all of it. Obviously you got to train for it. But I think even and still, guys have a hard time with that kind of style. I think that's why you see that style show up more than any other style that I have, because that's the one that's really, really effective.
Shawn, winning this fight Saturday night, Maurice Sulaiman stated that winner of this fight will have to do 2 mandatories, which will be the winner of Ugas and his opponent, and Andre Burrow that recently got the victory over Devin Alexander. So does it seem impossible that Errol Spence fight that everybody's talking about that he's promised?
I know how it goes. You can say mandatory, but we'll figure it out. Obviously, if I don't want to fight a mandatory, but I'm still gonna fight and support your sanctioning body, you'll make the fight happen. So we'll see.
During the press conference, you talked about how you want to make short ends of Danny Garcia. What makes you so sure you're going to make it a short night for him? Is it? I know you stated you've been watching a lot of film. What maybe particular film have you been watching?
I think maybe just more than anything, understanding my skills and how this fight can play out. If I do the right things and stay consistent in them, it should be a great fight for me and a definite W for me.
The last time I recall, a lot of great welterweight legends and current top welterweight fighters comment about such a big fight was Danny Garcia Keith Thurman. How does it feel to have those comments from legends and current welterweights?
It's definitely interesting and humbling. You know, just know that they're watching is the best part. You know, and like as it was told to me before, once they leave the game, they're gonna find somebody else to watch. You know, so I'm just humbled that I'm one of the guys that are being watched right now by those guys.
I think the soundbite everyone's going to run with is the fact that you said Errol Spence and Terrance Crawford, like they're going to have to start questioning if those guys want to fight you and everything like that. Where's that coming from? I mean, I think a lot of the fans and you know, the haters, essentially, the people who are under your comments on Instagram and everything, they're going to be surprised to hear that. They're not going to have a lot to say now since you said it out loud here. Has it been a point of view to make that statement that, you know, these guys...
He asked a question and I answered it. But what I do mean by that is, you know, you're going to see some... In order for me to win this fight, you're going to see some different things in the ring Saturday. And I think with those different things being great things, you're gonna be like, wow, like this guy, you know, he's who we thought he was, you know.
I know your dad had spoke on it in a couple past interviews that are like all these like, you know, people out there who have this idea that, you know, the rest of the welterweight division is ducking Errol Spence and stuff. Do you feel that inside you to make those statements that no, that's not the truth? You know, that like Terrance Crawford, these guys, yeah, but I've been here already. I've been at this level.
I think that was kind of how I've always answered it, is I've been there before, but no, there's no reason for me to defend it. This is boxing. Everybody that says I'm ducking him, none of those guys will even do one thing that it takes to get in the ring with him, you know. So that to me doesn't matter at all. You can say I'm ducking Errol, you can say I'm ducking Terrance, you can say I'm ducking Adrian Bronner, the list goes on. You know, only thing that matters is that the business makes sense and we get in the ring and we do what we got to do.
I saw you were here. You're a slight underdog. I read in 2008 you were left off the Olympic team. Is that something that you've dealt with your whole life? People overlooking you?
My whole life, yeah. Even the guy who represented the United States in my weight class in 2008, I beat him 2 times. Just wasn't able to fight him in the trials, you know. So, but I've dealt with all of it, you know. My dad calls it the fight before the fight. Anything that can happen and go on negatively before the fight is called the fight before the fight. Dealt with it my entire life.
So which specific weakness do you want to exploit inside of you?
One more time?
Which specific weakness do you want to exploit inside of you?
All of it. There's nothing specific. You'll see it all Saturday night. All of it.
Shawn, I wanted to ask you, yesterday I read an interesting article with Boxing Scene that mentioned how Mauricio Sulaiman wants to propose this idea of preventing parents from being in their son's corner, knowing that their father's their trainer as well. What's your comments on that? And let's say it does happen.
I mean, I guess I don't know where he's getting at. I don't know what he's going after. I don't know what he's trying to do by doing that. But I know that it's something that'll never blow over. Boxing is a family sport. Either your father did it, your grandfather did it, uncle, cousin. This is why the sports community, the boxing community is so small, because it's a family sport. It's a family thing, and you know, that's something that'll never happen. There's gonna be a family member in the corner. It's part of it.
I talked to Jeff Mayweather, who's here in attendance in this press conference. He talked about how that would be a stupid idea, excuse my language, how, you know, example, Floyd Mayweather, one of the top fighters, boxers of all time, had his father in his corner. So would it make sense for them to do that and tarnish the sport?
It'll never happen. You know, I think this is one sport that will remain like it is. It's always been family oriented. It's always been, you know, even at home, people that don't fight, you're watching fights with your family and friends, but you're watching fights with your family. And so that, I don't think that's something I'll ever even be considered.
But let's just say it does. Would that impact you in terms of maybe not boxing ever again because you don't have your father on your side? Or
I mean, I've said it before. I'll never box without my dad, you know. Okay. So I've said that before, and I've always meant it, you know. But I don't think it's something that could ever happen. But even if it did, I don't. It'll change boxing. That's for sure. It'll change boxing.
We talked about Keith Thurman, how you respected his opinion. You won your 2 fights after you lost him. Anything you learned from losing to him that you took into your next 2 fights?
For sure. I think the number one thing I learned from fighting Keith is, you know, you gotta be able to judge the fight as you're going through it. and I don't think I did a good job of that. I think I was, foot on the gas pedal, go, 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 go. And I think there were times where if I hadn't, pushed forward and took a different approach in certain rounds, at certain points of certain rounds, I might have probably came out with the victory.
Is there any pressure in general from the fans, media, etc., for you to have a certain kind of performance that can maybe bring you out of your game plan at all? Like when people want to see you box more, or they want to see you slut, or they say you had headbutts with Andre Berto, etc. The fight, does it take you out of your element at all? Ever?
A lot of people say I'm a dirty fighter and I headbutt and things like that. I think even trying to make the adjustment to not come in and have those headbutts happen, those head collisions happen. I think that is just a small subtle adjustment that I need to make that I'm capable of making. So for me, I'm stuck on the game plan. I'm not so much concerned or stuck on what anyone else thinks or feels.
What would you say your the biggest adversity you had to face to get here through your professional career?
Keith Thurman. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Keith Thurman. I think up and down, toughest fight of my life.
How long did it take you to get over that?
It didn't take me long. Excuse me. It didn't take me long to get over that at all. It didn't take me long to get over it all because it was such a great fight. Such a great fight.
How'd you feel about the back and forth with you and Danny, like the war of words you guys had going on there for a second?
Yeah, it was weak. I think I was a little apprehensive because we did it with Steve Farhood not long ago. It wasn't Steve Farhood, Jim Gray, not long ago. And Jim came over and was going to take my mic from me. So I think I was a little bit more, apprehensive to, shoot back, and interrupt him. But I was probably what I should have did.
Never thought about it.
I know you and Keith were kind of cool before, you guys actually had the fight and stuff. And you guys had a friendship essentially. Is Danny a guy outside of boxing that you would imagine yourself ever being friends with or anything like that?
Danny's just the stepchild of the welterweight division.
Okay.
Nobody cares about him. I don't mean to be like that. Just even coming up, he just was not in the circle, So, upon turning pro, we all go our separate ways.
Because even when I see you and Errol Spence, sometimes you guys are really cordial with each other, etc.
I know Errol from my dad. My dad was in a couple camps with Errol, so I knew of Errol before I even met Errol, And Errol is just a lot like me, We've been caught in the same places at the same time, He comes to Vegas, he goes to different fights, So there's been times we play ball together, things like that. He's just not, Danny's not that guy, He's not the guy who's going to show up and be around, and he's not the guy that I want around.
You said that this is the biggest fight of your life. How do you not put so much pressure on yourself?
I think just wanting it. I think understanding that it's the biggest fight of my life and wanting it to be the biggest fight of my life. I think that kind of, evens it out.
Shawn, I know you're a workhorse, and in my opinion, just from the boxing history, you're one of the most well-conditioned boxing athletes I've ever seen. I've always wanted to know if you've ever felt just anyone, the great, conditioned athletes, the Floyd Mayweathers, the Marvin Haglers, could any of those guys ever outwork you? Could you outwork out everyone else?
I've seen Mayweather work.
Because Tim Bradley said he saw Mayweather work and he couldn't, to even him, he couldn't match his work.
I watched Mayweather work and I was always like, I probably could outwork him.
Okay.
I've watched Manny, and I think that my work level raised after watching Manny. But I know the old school guys, that's all they knew was work. They didn't know cable TV. They didn't know nice cars, and they didn't know, going out and, relaxing. All they knew was work, because this is what I want,
Yeah,
So
I know Hagler's your favorite fighter.
Yeah,
he was jogging in combat boots and stuff.
Man, I doubt I could outwork Marvin, and I'd be close with me and Floyd.
Is that something you pride yourself on? Your ability to work out and your
for sure.
Stamina?
I definitely pride myself on my work rate, my work level. Really pride myself on my recovery. My recovery is ever since I was a kid. I remember it being the way it is now, and it's just a blessing from God. I can take a deep breath and calm it all down. I can be in the midst of the battle and just calm it all down. And it's just a blessing from God, man. You got to be able to be relaxed and also recover, get your body to feel rejuvenated, even when you're in between, in the middle of a round.
I know we were talking about the different training methods yesterday, and you mentioned yoga. I went back on YouTube, checked out some hot yoga videos of you, and you were doing you were in there just doing it good. And I've done hot yoga. I know how intense it can get.
Listen,
and,
man, y'all
Hank
see
Lundy
me
was in the background, and he was just running out of breath.
I used to have fun taking the boxing guys to do yoga because they don't do it, and I just want them to feel, other things out there that can get you in a supreme condition for what you got to do. But what you see me doing up here, and you see me, I'm a straight up competitor, man. I will be in the middle of doing my yoga pose, and if I fall out of it, I'm mad. Or I know there's other yogis out there, what they call them, who go just about every day, and they'll do a move that I can't do, and I'm not so much mad at myself because I can't do the move. But in the middle of class, I'll just start clapping for them because I'm like, man, you got it, and I can't do that one yet, But I'm just straight up super competitive, and that's a part of my life, man. I got to get my yoga in before the fight. And when I make it to a certain level in yoga, I know I'm ready for the fight.
When did you realize this fight was realistic for you?
How do you control your time management?
Probably when I spoke to Key in Vegas, the night of Danny Garcia and Brandon Rios. Once I spoke to Keith, I had a pretty good understanding that I wasn't going to be getting in the ring with him. And so I got in the ring and I, did that thing with Danny Garcia. And I think shortly after that was when I realized this fight might actually go down.
First time in the history of your career, I heard Shawn Porter hurt on the Diaz. Is that an indication of the urgency of this fight, or this is the second half of your career and it's just time to put 2 feet on the gas pedal?
I
heard your son in the background crying. I don't know if you heard that too.
I did too, man. You hear him over there? I'm like, not right now. Diggy, stop it. I'm up here trying to have fun. And obviously when I hear him speaking, there's different things that come to mind. And I try to bite my tongue for the most part. I said it and I mean it. If this is the start of a new chapter of your life, this is about to be the shortest ass chapter of your life. And I mean that. This is my belt. This is my belt.
First time in your career, you're walking out to a crowd where you're probably arguably might be the villain. You're the Joker Saturday night.
I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. I do karaoke. Yeah. I don't do karaoke because I think I can sing. I get up there to make people laugh and have a great time. If I'm the Joker, that means you about to laugh and then have a great time.
You guys were face-to-face on fight week.
That face-off was weak, man. They wanted some stuff in between us, man. I'm like get into it. I ain't trying to get that close, but I want to feel it. I ain't feel nothing, so I'm like, all right, tell us when to turn. This is over. This is weak.
So who'd you feel like was the bigger man when you guys were standing side by side?
I don't know. What kind of question is that? Bigger man?
Yeah, did he feel worse? Taller?
Oh, I didn't realize how tall he was until the first time we faced off. So, this one was a lot the same. I didn't know how tall he was. But, hey, man, it's like I always say, when we get in the ring, we all the same height.
Do you think in the ring you're going to be the naturally, more natural welterweight because he did move up? Or?
Yeah, I guess. I did what I had to take to make what it takes to make weight, and I'm strong, and I'm feeling great.
Shawn, walk me through the mental aspect. Let's say, hypothetically, you come in with your game plan. How you doing? Nice to see you again, my friend. Yeah. You come in good with your original game plan. Danny's got something for it. He's answering you. How do you mitigate the frustration that you may have and then kind of make your adjustments and keep positive if your original plan doesn't go as expected?
The number one thing is to not get frustrated. That's the number one thing. The number one thing, and then number two is to stay positive. Obviously easier said than done for anyone, but I know that's what works for me. It's frustrating guys and getting them out of their mind, out of their head, so getting them to do what I need them to do, So I can't allow my own tactics to, flip over on me. So I come out in the first round, he's got some answers. I'm gonna come back to the corner and get some answers.
You're consciously aware of that.
Oh, for sure. Gotta be.
Shawn, talking to Angel Garcia about your footwork, he's saying all Shawn does is come forward, but the tape shows otherwise. Do you think he's mistaken in that?
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, I need every advantage I can get, So if the advantage is coming straight from the corner, that's a blessing.
Right.
Yeah.
When you were talking on the DS, it looked like you're anticipating a steamroll. And as you were talking, I was thinking Paulo Malignaggi. Is that, because you said he's in for the awakening of his life. I don't want to misquote you, but
yeah, I think that Paulie was 5 rounds. I think that this could be Paulie-esque, but it'll take more rounds. I think that this is the buildup of a Paulie finish, of a big finish. You're putting words in my mouth, man. I can't call this a Paulie finish.
No.
But a big finish,
But your aggression is
it's gonna be a buildup to something a lot like that. Yeah.
And part 2 of that question is, they consider the Porter pressure kind of novice, kind of amateurish. Can you answer the fans as to, is there a game plan behind the Porter pressure?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you don't understand it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It looks messy and it looks dirty. It's all calculated. You do see me move my head. You do see me make guys miss. You do see me hit them from the outside with my jab. When you see me applying that Porter pressure, as eloquently put, it is all calculated. I'm not coming just straight in. I'm figuring out when to come. I'm using feints to set it up. I'm using jabs to set it up. It's all set up. So if you don't understand it, I'm sorry. Take a deeper look.
And Shawn, how much will your activity in the ring, your work rate, the fact that you fight all 12 basically the same, how big a role does that play in this fight?
We expect that to be a deciding factor in this fight. Even looking at this fight before it even happens, you look at every component that could help me be successful. And we look at it and say, oh, he's a slow starter. He doesn't work like I work, and he's not ready for that. So we expect him not to be ready for it. But we're gonna work hard to make sure he's not.
Any way in hell, his counters make you a little more timid?
No.
Say, knock you out with a straight right hand.
It's a wrap, guys. Thank